Okay, so we finally got to the calculus portion of it. Let's now see if our TI-89s will help us find limits, which they do, obviously, or else I wouldn't be showing you. Again, you could do cleanup here, or you can leave it as is. I'm going to just clean it up. So F6. Whoops, I didn't hit the right button, I don't think. F6. I'm going to start a new problem. New. Enter just to clear everything up. I also know that anything that were in the functions are also gone. Now, for me, it's a stylistic thing because a lot of times, when especially with limits, you are using complex functions, rational expressions, things like that. And if you forget a parenthesis somewhere, you can fundamentally change what the function is or how it behaves. So I tend to, and that's just me, you do not have to do this just as long as you are careful where you put the parentheses. But I tend to always put the function that I'm taking the limit of in y1 or y2 or any of those functions. So that's what I'm going to go in and do. I'm going to go into, oh, I thought they would have cleared here. I guess not. It only clears the home screen. So look, good example. I want to clear this one out. I highlight it and hit clear. I'll just get rid of these guys here and clear. So now I'm going to go in and enter just the function. I'm not doing the limit or anything like that. I could do that here, but it's not helpful for what I'm doing. So I'm going to just enter, but just remember the numerator, I'm going to put a parenthesis around the numerator. So x squared and then minus 4. I mean, hopefully you would know the answer real quick without using the calculator for this one because it factors, but I just want to show you. And then divide by x minus 2. And if you checked, I need a parenthesis around this as well, x minus 2, like so, and hit enter. And look, okay, it definitely looks like the function inside the limit. I put the parentheses in the correct place. This is what it should be looking like. That's how I know that I've entered it correctly, okay? I tend to just use that part for this. Again, you could do it. I'll show you in a second when we get to the home screen and take the limit. We could do it in the home screen. So we're going to go to the home screen, and instead of using an algebra function, we're using a calculus function. So look here, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. So look, F3 is calculus. So that's what we're going to use, calculus. And I'm going to do the third one. That's choice number 3. I could either use the arrow down key or I could hit the number 3. I'm going to just hit the number 3. So it says, okay, the limit. So now you have to tell it what to take the limit of. So I'm going to take the limit of the function I entered already. And it's the same thing here. If you write y1 without using function notation, it's just going to take y times 1 and get some constant. So your intent is to say y1 of x. So the function that I stored in y1 in the graphing part of the calculator, I want to take the limit of that, and then you have to tell it I'm going to do it as from x, or as x approaches. What value is it approaching? The number 2. So you have to put the function, comma, what variable is approaching something, comma, what that variable is approaching, end parenthesis. That is the vernacular. So again, I would write that down in your notes because that's the part that people forget. So you're going to do limit, limit, and then y1 of x function that you're taking the limit of, the variable, comma, approaching 2, approach, value we're approaching. Oy, you know what I'm saying. So the value we want to get to, end parenthesis, there. And then hit enter. There. So the value there is 4. So it just calculated the limit for you. Like I said before, instead of storing it, the function in y1, you could have also done the limit as, now I just took the active. It always repeats the last active. I'm going to go in here and then just enter, but then you have to be careful with the parentheses. So x squared minus 4. I always mess up on parentheses and stuff like that. I forget a parenthesis or something, and then it messes it. And then x minus 2, x minus 2, end parenthesis, comma, x, comma, approaching 2, end parenthesis, enter. And it should work. It also works. So it writes it like it looks. Okay. If it was a free response, you had to show your work. Obviously, you can't use your calculator, right? And don't be reliant on this calculator, because 2/3 of the AP exam is no calculator, but it is a really cool thing. So let's write down we know it was equal to 4. If you factored that out and got rid of there's a hole in this one, in this case, at x is equal to 2, you would see that the answer would still be 4 if you did this by hand.